We have at the moment about 6 or 7 different kits available, in which the customer really finds everything he needs to start a proof of concept. So the most important is that he receives a device that he's ready to load up with firmware that is already compiled by us, and also that he has a screen that goes with the kit and that he has all the interfaces working. So for this, we made a kit that contains quite a lot of parts. So first we have a very short manual.
Quick start guide.
Quick start guide, yeah. We also have a cardboard holder where you can place the whole kit on. That's easy for when it's on your desk and you want to load software or do other things. Then we have a beautiful box where all the parts go in. Let me tell you what we have. For example, we have a box with antenna and interface cables. I don't know why we see mirror view here. We also have a box that contains the carrier board and the module itself with already the, let me open it, that's easy. Yeah. With already the heatsink mounted on the device, and the antenna cable is also already mounted. So this is the job you don't have to do anymore. Then we have a camera that also comes with the kit. We have a camera. Then we have a panel. That's a 5-inch PCAP panel with MIPI interface. With a decent resolution. Then we have something important. We have a voice hat kit. Now, this is voice hat. Why do we have an audio kit with it? This is because on the baseboard, we did not build an audio codec. We preferred to keep this separated on headers because people might want to experiment with different audio codecs. That's why we have it on a separate board. Also, you get a set of speakers that is in the box. And yeah, what else did I miss, Thomas? Yeah, you have standoffs and speakers also. Small speakers, but they sound good. And a pair of standoffs to screw everything together. Now, what do we have on the standard board is important to know. Since this kit is an IMX8M-MINI, we have, despite having a HDMI socket on the board, this will not work. This is simply a limitation of the SoC. With the IMX8M-MINI, we can only use the MIPI interface. We have the standard 40-pin header, the same like a Raspberry Pi. You can use any Pi hat on here. We have the audio selector. We have USB host, RJ45. We have here a debug port. This is actually a USB to serial converter, and from where you can have a console working. And then we have the USB Type-C OTG port, which is also used for powering the board. If you do not want to power your board from USB Type-C, there's other ways. We will explain you that later. Then on the bottom side, you have camera interface. The PICO-PI-IMX8 has 2 camera interfaces. This is camera 1, and the second camera is in between the SOC, the SOM, and the baseboard. If you want to connect the second camera, you will have to remove the module. But this is just a small job. And then we have a click interface, where normally we have a micro SD card reader or any other clicks device that can go on. But standard, you will receive it with a micro SD card reader, which is not here, by the way. Yeah. Okay, now, how do we start? A little bit up. Let me just boot up a device to show you.
We put it on a stand so you can see it more clearly.
Yeah. Let me just put a device up to see what you will experience the first time you boot it up. It takes a couple of seconds, and then later you will see U-boot coming, hopefully. Okay, so you see U-boot is running, 4 pingwings means 4 cores. And now our rescue loader is starting. Now it will give you an error. Maybe I can actually turn the board to show it better to you. Yeah. So, Yoma, it shows you now an error for a reason. When you work with the rescue loader, you need an internet connection, which we did not connect. So let me just connect quickly an RJ45. And it's a very, very difficult cable. Okay, once you've connected, you will see that the device is going to check on our servers which software is available for your kit. It takes a little time, but it's already here. So in case of the 8M-MINI, we do not have too much choice. We have an Android image that we can install. We have a Qt image, bare Qt, that we can install together with Yocto. We have a rescue image that we can flash a card of. And then we have Bluetooth Qt. So how does it work? It's actually very simple. Let's say we will install on this device a Qt. We just click the software we need, Qt. I don't know if I touched it. Nothing seems to happen. Maybe, okay. So we use Qt. This is the baseboard we use, which is a Pi baseboard. Now I need to choose the screen. It had a little bit delay. That's why I was not doing it right. So I choose the screen. DSI is the only available option. I will not be able to install a HDMI image, for example, because the SOC does not work with it. So I choose the screen. Means I have Qt. I install it on a PICO-Pi with the DSI MIPI panel interface. And now I need to change it because I don't want to flash it on an SD card. I want to flash it on an eMMC. So here I can choose. I can also make an SD card, a bootable SD card, but I want to put it inside the device.
You can make a backup, right?
Yes, you can make a backup. So just choose eMMC. It might have a little delay. Okay, now eMMC. We just click Program Me. It will get a script from the servers. It will take a second. You might have to push maybe one more time. Yeah, I had it. It's already busy, but it is a little bit late. So now it will pull a total image from our server and ask us to reboot once it's ready.
Yeah, it will take a few minutes.
So we just let it go and let it do its job, and we continue. Okay.
Yeah.
So the audio head that comes with the device has also 2 speaker connections, and we have about a 2 watt per channel amp. It's compatible with Amazon Alexa. So it means you can use voice instructions. We also have actually a runtime image with AVS services enabled, which could be handy for somebody who wants to make a voice control device. The camera we use at the moment is a standard OmniVision 5 megapixel device. It has full HD for sure. And when we shoot movie, we can have 60 frames per second at 720p. The moment we go 1080, we can reach another 30 frames, which is still acceptable. We are still running here.
Yeah. Here we can show how far we are now. You can see the line. So it's going up, up, up.
Yeah.
It's half the way.
Yes, it takes a little bit. But that's fine. We don't need to write it ourselves.
Henry, I would like to ask, you mentioned that this i.MX8 Mini doesn't have HDMI.
Yes.
Is it possible to switch module and use the same baseboard? If I remember well, IMX8M Pro version of something like this support HDMI.
Exactly. If we would place 8MQ module on this board, then the HDMI will be enabled. That's correct.
Yeah, so you need different modules.
Different module. And also, for example, in case somebody wants really a 8M-MINI and he really needs HDMI, there's even a way to do it. He can produce his own carrier and use a MIPI to HDMI bridge. There's converter chips for this, and this is workable.
Okay, thanks. For me, it's simple to use this Pro version, which already contain HDMI.
Yes, that's correct. Okay, we're still installing. It will take a little bit while. Also, if afterwards you want to change your software and flash it back from an SD card, then you will have to change the boot headers. They're here. These are the bootstrap headers, and they're described on our website and also in the manual how you need to place the jumpers to have, for example, SD card boot, eMMC boot, serial boot. This is all described in the manual, I suppose. Right?
Yes.
Let us check. Thomas made a manual. Let's see if it's very good.
We are running out of space here a bit.
Yeah, where are they? Which page, Thomas?
Now in this manual we are short of space, so it's not included here in the printed manual. So we'll have to go to our website.
To our website. Okay, that's fast. Yeah. Later we show you a link. Okay. Now, as you can see, the device is ready, and it asks us to reboot. So we just click reboot. Where is that? Oh. And now it will start up in a boot to Qt environment. If I install the right one, should be.
Let's see.
Yeah. So this is actually, as you see now, boot to Qt, and this is very fast. It does not boot any Yocto layers. It goes straight into the Qt layer. It's very lightweight and extremely responsive. And we think for many applications where you do industrial control of devices or even navigation, that this is the right approach to go. You don't want to maintain a whole Yocto distribution just for one application that you want to run on your final product, right? As you can see, there's some standard demos that you can start, and it shows you actually what are the possibilities of it. We have, at the moment, every IMX8M and MM board ready with Qt. IMX6 boards are also following, and I presume within a couple of weeks you will see all our products listed on the Qt website as boot to Qt supported.
Henry, I have one question.
Really?
From Pavel.
Yeah.
The Qt image that has been flashed during the session is said to be the B2Qt. Having license for B2Qt, how to modify the scripts to build for PICO-PI Pro, as it is not available in STD Qt for devices creation, not is supported straight from the box. The question is also, you can read it if you want to on the bottom. So I can ask again. Should I read it again?
We're sorry, your voice came from very far.
Okay, I will try more. One more.
Yeah, one more time.
The Qt image that has been flashed during the session is said to be the B2Qt. having a license for B2QT, how to modify the scripts to build for PICO-PI Pro, as it is not available in STD Qt for devices creation, not is supported straight from the bus.
Yeah, okay. Basically, we can also support the B2QT board package, but you will have to license with Qt for industrial use. I think we will release a white letter on what is necessary for this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, if the answer is satisfied, so please, if you need more information, so please write it or just raise your hand and I will give you an opportunity to talk with us. And Henry, sorry for interruption. You can continue.
Yeah, I think the volume is falling away on your side.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Henry, I would like to ask if you can provide some more information about this boot to Qt technology. If I understand well, there is no need to install Yocto. It's just need to install kernel and Qt libraries.
Yes, that's correct. And we have actually the board support packages on our FTP already. However, for commercial use, we will need to have a license. And as I said, we are going to make a white letter in where we can explain how it works. It's also still pretty new for us. And I don't know all the legal terms here.
Okay, I'm also interested in this new i.MX8 module. I noticed that on the TechNexion website, there is mentioned that this module also contains Wi-Fi module.
Yes.
And for me, one interesting information was that this Wi-Fi module is worldwide certified. Does it mean that this module carry this or is in accordance with this RAD, radio equipment device direction from European Commission?
Correct. We have actually the certificates for Europe, Australia, America, and some Japan, yeah, TLEC. So it means actually the Wi-Fi module is pre-certified, and you will just have to do the certification on device level. That means if you use the module in the final device, depending on where you are in the world, let's take America, then you only have to do sub 1 gigahertz measurements. And so the certification will go very fast. But again, this might differ a little bit from country to country.
Yeah. Where is the end user?
But you don't have to start certifications from zero. The module itself has all the certificates already issued for basically for the world.
And I also noticed that these modules support ambient temperature range from -40 to +85. It's not very common in this area. I would like to ask if you also offer i.MX8 Pico modules, which also support this temperature range.
Yes, we do. We have for the Pico modules, we have extended temp, which is -20. And then we have industrial temp, which is -40. And since the switch to our QCA 9377 module, we can now also offer Pico modules in industrial temp with Wi-Fi, guaranteed. So in the past, when we were still using our older Broadcom devices, we have also the possibility to build industrial temp module with Broadcom Wi-Fi, but then the customer had to sign a waiver, and where we did not take any responsibility for the good working of the Wi-Fi below -20. Now this is no longer the case. We can guarantee that the Wi-Fi module will work between -40 plus 80.
Actually, it's very, very good news for me because, in my opinion, such a module are quite rare on the market. And what about Bluetooth? What standard is supported?
That's actually a good question. When the 9377 chipset was released, then the Bluetooth standard on it was Bluetooth 4.1 BLE. And around 6 months ago, we got a new firmware from QCA, from Qualcomm, and now we support Bluetooth 5 on the same module. So that means that you're immediately on the latest Bluetooth version.
I would like to also ask what carrier board can you offer for these PICO-IMX8 modules?
Yes, we have a basic board like we have here. A Pi board has just all the basic interfaces that you need to demonstrate a proof of concept. But we also have an extended carrier, which unfortunately we didn't bring here. And this is called the Wizard. And this is really a board that has every available interface routed to the base board. It means you can, for example, not with the 8M-MINI, but with the 8M-Q, the normal one, we can do even dual LVDS or dual HDMI output. We also have on that board a bridge to go from BPDSI to LVDS, or from BPDSI to HDMI, or even from BPDSI to TTL interface. It's not the cheapest board, but when you have special interfaces to test, I think it's the way to go. We also have on that board a lot of CLIX interfaces, where you can use, for example, our environmental sensors, or a second Wi-Fi, which is also possible. And what else is on? Let me think. An enormous amount of GPIOs that go outside, I2C signals, all the SI headers also, system audio interfaces. And I think that's about it. We might maybe in the future have how to say, a short demonstration of that board, because it's really quite advanced.
Yeah, it will be coming next quarter, so in a couple of weeks probably we will have something to show you.
This quarter?
Yeah, this quarter, end of this quarter.
Thank you very much. For me, it looks like this board, which all interfaces, it's more like a development board to just show possibilities. This PICO-8 board looks like this board can be also used for the final product. Am I right?
Yes, you're right. There's quite some customers that have medium to small volume, and that it doesn't make sense for them to build their own board. In that case, we sit together with the customer on the table and we check, what exactly do you need. So some people, they work headless and they only need a network connector. So then we say, okay, we can depopulate whatever you don't need from the board, and you save maybe a quarter or half $, but they save the cost of building their own board, which is quite important. If you want to route a board and it costs money, that's one. Also, you need engineering on site for developing your board. Secondly, you need to have people that debugging it for you, and then when you start to manufacture, if it's your own board, you need like per batch 1,000 pieces minimum.
And I would like to ask, can you provide some electronic design files for this carrier board, and if yes, in which CAD format?
Yes, okay. We can export to most of the CAD formats, and yes, we can deliver the electronic files for all the carriers that we make. So only for the carriers, not for the modules,
Yeah.
which is understandable.
Yeah, actually, these are available for download on our website.
Yeah, okay.
Many of them.
And no. Miro talks about the electronic design files, not the schematics.
Oh, okay.
But we can deliver them. So the moment we know you have one of our carriers, we can deliver you an export to Altium, for example, so that you can immediately start working from that base on. And this would save you a lot of time.
Yes, it's a very, very good question. Maybe I now can go too deep to the technical, but I would like to ask if it is possible to design this PCB for carrier board as a simple dual layer, or if it is necessary to use 4-layer PCB.
It depends what signals you want. If you only want to have a serial port, of course you can do that and do a layer. The moment you start with a network, as you see, the network 5, for example, is on the carrier. Yeah? And these are a lot of, it's hard to show here. Yeah? This is a network 5. This is, I think, a 6-layer board. A dual layer, there's not so much you can do.
Okay, I have one question from Hungary. I don't know if it's going to be enough for you. There is on one sentence, serial port interfaces RS232, RS485 are available.
This is RS232. When you take the wizard, then we have a selector in which you can change the serial port to RS485. On the standard board, we didn't do that because it's demonstrator, proof of concept. If you said, okay, this can work for us, but we need RS485 for long distance, then you have to develop, unfortunately, a new carrier and implement this by yourself. Or we can help you with it.
Okay. No more questions.
I would like to also ask this demo image, which you can download into the device. There are on the, or user can find these demo images on the TechNexion website or some FTP site or GitHub or what?
Actually, all of it.
On all of them, yeah.
Let's say on the TechNexion website, we have a support section where you can find software.
We will show you next in a few minutes.
And there you will find a link to the latest image. Now, for some people, that might not be enough because they want to stay, for example, with an older version of Android or an older version of Yocto. So in that case, you go straight to our FTP and you will see all the images we released since many years, and they're still free for download. Now, in case that you say, okay, I want to compile my own stuff because I want to add a lot of extra sources or I want to remove features, that's no problem. We have 2 GitHubs. One GitHub is for our U-boot, Linux kernel, and Yocto. And the second GitHub is for our Android releases. Both of them, I think we can later show you. Tomasz can show you this in a screen share. And you can immediately connect there. It's no problem. Also, our FTP is no password required, except for the section where you need to download firmware for the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth. Now, why is this password protected? This is because you can only get this Wi-Fi firmware or Bluetooth firmware once you work with one of our boards. This is how to say, a licensing issue we have with Qualcomm. We need to follow this. So we can only provide you the firmware once you have a board from us, which is actually not a problem.
You mentioned that there is also possibility to use a bridge from MIPI DSI interface to LVDS. I asked because this LVDS is still used in the industry, and typical industry TFT panel use this LVDS interface.
Yes, We have a solution that we tested already in-house, so we can give the block diagram for this if you want to develop your own board, that's to say. We have it available as a proof of concept. You can test it. For example, you buy a wizard board with expansion head MIPI DSI to LVDS, and you can test your own panel. It's, I think, a long-term bridge we placed on it.
So, can you tell me when will be schematic files and design files for this wizard carrier board available?
That should be within 2-3 weeks. They should be available because we're in mass production of the board, so now we can release the final files.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. Will this wizard carrier board will be compatible with the modules, the SOMs that are, for instance, on the PICOs mounted on the PICOs?
Yeah, we will have an EDM wizard that's compatible with our EDM modules, and we will have a Pico wizard, same size, which is compatible with the Pico modules, of course. Then we will have a Flex wizard, which is compatible with our Flex platform. And then finally, we will have a XOR wizard. And XOR is the latest family we released, and this is actually all LGA soldered down module.
No connectors.
Yes.
Okay. I have also one question. How you would compare quality of the chips, SoC, etc. in compare with RPI4 if we are talking about stability? I read it once more. How you would compare quality of the chips, SoC, and so on, in compare with RPI4 if we are talking about stability?
Yeah. First, I will not compare them. That's one, because you talk here about a product with a longevity of 10 years, 12 years. Okay? And when you look at Raspberry Pi, every production batch might have a lot of, how to say, different components between the different production batches. So this is a product that we make that goes into an industrial field or automation field, while Raspberry Pi is basically focused on people that want to develop on a small platform at home, but not for industrial use. Performance-wise, well, Raspberry Pi, as far as I know, doesn't have, for example, any onboard storage, while we have a module that can go up to 64 GB storage on the module. Raspberry Pi also can only come in commercial temp, while we can provide parts that go from -40 to +85. So they're not comparable. They have a different target audience.
Okay, thank you.
Have you mentioned this internal storage, eMMC? I would like to ask, what is the default capacity of eMMC on these Pico boards?
Yeah, the default capacity now is 16 GB. We can go up easily to 64, but I think now we also have the confirmation we can go to 128.
Oh, it's good news. 16 gigabytes. It's enough capacity. Do you have a plan also increase default capacity for the iDynamics 6 based Pico modules?
Yes, actually it happened already, Miroslav. We have now the only module we have with low capacity, that's 4 GB, is the IMX6 UL. And all the other modules have been upgraded to 16 GB. Because the latest Android releases are easily 2.5 GB, and that means your whole storage is gone. So that's why we saw the necessity to increase storage. We first went to 8 GB, and then we had a good news from our supplier that we could have 16 GB as actually the same price. So we upgraded every module to 16 gigabyte.
Yes, it's a very good news. Thank you.
Yes.
And you mentioned these Pico modules, and I presume also all other modules are designed to be long-term available.
Exactly.
Could you say more about this long-term availability?
Okay. For example, in XP parts, when they go into commercial field, they're minimum 10 years. The moment you can have automotive grade parts, for example, IMX8M, you can find it on the NXP website. It can become an automotive grade. Then they're available for 15 years. That means from the day we launch till the day of last buy, this is minimum 10 years. Normally, it will always be extended with a couple of years. So we can say for the commercial part, you look at least 12 years. And then still, you will have a last time buy, and where you can place a volume order that has to be delivered over the next, let's say, 12 months, 16 months. And you still have time to implement your new solution, which should not be a problem because we believe in compatibility between our modules. That means when this one phases out, you will have another module with the same pinout that goes straight in.
I would like to ask about software support which TechNexion can provide for the customer. Can you say something about this software support you provided?
Yeah, sure. As I told already before, we have some standard runtime images which are not supported nor upgraded. They're for proof of concept. You can use them as you want. We have actually customers using a standard runtime image on their final device. It happens. Then we have our GitHub. Now, when you start to compile, we guarantee that the source code is going to work on all the hardware that is on our boards. Now, if you want to implement other components, other ICs, you can do that. You can start to change the recipe. You can start to pull in other sources. We have a bug tracker on GitHub where you can file requests. The moment it is feasible for us to help you, we will do this at no charge. The moment it becomes quite intensive in software support, we will bring you in contact with a third party that can solve the problem for you. And this goes case by case. You know, it's hard to say from which point we will stop supporting yourself and go to a third party. It depends on what is actually the key problem. But the basic source is always updated to the latest version.
Okay, thank you. I would like to ask also about customization. You mentioned, for example, you can depopulate some components from the carrier board. I understand that it should be economically feasible. So what is some minimum quantity for such a customization?
Oh, that's very small. About 200 pieces, we can do that for you. That's no problem. Making a design on PCB level is quite difficult, but just depop is easy. 200 pieces, we can run a batch for you, which should not be too big, actually.
Okay, thank you.
No.
Okay, Vadim, you have a possibility to talk. In case you have a question, please ask.
Yes, hi. Hello, guys. Thank you for making this webinar. I would like to have a question regarding the solution that you have. The thing is that I'm prototyping like 2 years with Raspberry Pi, and I'm thinking about other solution. Therefore, I'm interested in this webinar. But I would like to know from you to tell me how can I feel more secure regarding the parts. I will explain more the question. That for example, I will start with a Raspberry Pi, and why I start with Raspberry Pi, because I know I can buy it anywhere. For example, if somebody stops selling it, I can buy from another company. So for example, if we are talking about your solution, how can I feel safe that, for example, it will not happen, but just in case, for example, your company stopped to exist, for example, for whatever reason, how can I be secure that I will still be able to, with other company, or I will have the design from you? How can I feel safe that my product in the end will have 100% security regarding the components, the build, design, and the parts? Thank you.
I guess the question is for TechNexion, not for Electronic.
That's actually a good question. Our company is in business since 1999, yeah, so we're not a newcomer. Even the first ARM product based on a TI we released in 2007, we still make today. Now, I know for you this is not a guarantee, but you have to see it like this. If we would happen to go out of business, take the impossible, then for us there is actually no problem to release all the design files. We will not need them anyway. As for the carriers, you already have them from start. The only thing you are missing are the design files for the modules, right? It's difficult for me to make a promise now out of my heart, but I'm sure if it would happen that one day TechNexion has to leave the field, we would have no problem to publish the design files for the modules in electronic format. You still would have to make it yourself, but it would help you to feel secure. On the other side, if from tomorrow on nobody produces Raspberry Pis, you're in the same problem.
Can I ask? Yeah, forward question. Why Raspberry Pi? Because I can change it to Banana Pi, to whatever Android ID or Android, whatever the name is. It's like partly compatible with each other, partly, right? So therefore, I started with that. And regarding the, for example, if you compare just a comparison, let's say Raspberry Pi 3, it costs like I don't remember now, $35. If you compare the same SoC, same input outputs and everything, what would be the price in your solution, approximately, very rough?
Not incomparable. Even the double you will not be there. But there's a very good explanation for this. If you want 10 Raspberry Pis, you will be able to buy them. Now, I ask you, can you buy 3,000 Raspberry Pis in one order? You will not get them for the simple reason that this is targeted at hobby market and you can only have a limited quantity. Yes, I know you can go from every vendor and buy a couple of hundred, but that will only help you for one time. Same for every release, you will have different memories on top of it. So that means you will have to maintain a software stack with different memory settings, different memory training for every batch you have on the market. And that's, yes, for small projects, it's doable. But the moment you go into a more professional market, that's simply, you cannot manage this because you want to push a OTA update for your devices on the market, and they all will have to have different settings. And I think this is very hard for any company that goes on a professional level to do.
We have like maximum top, I think like we can reach only 500 units per year. So we're not talking about 1,000. And I understand, thank you for the answering. And what about the, like there is a CPU, right? So you need to put some loader, right? Am I correct? Like yes. Your own.
Correct, yes. U-boot, for example, yeah.
No, but you will, it's your, you own the bootloader?
No, okay, that's a good question actually, I didn't say. The IMX series, both the IMX6, the 6UL, 7, 8, they come with a built-in secured bootloader. So you can basically not break the device. No matter what goes wrong, you can always fall back on the built-in bootloader. That means you can serial boot. You have the primary bootloader, which is built in, and that allows you to serial boot the device, bring it up again, and flash an image. I'm not sure if this is in the Raspberry Pi. I don't know. I wouldn't say. Be able to tell you.
Raspberry Pi is like that. I am putting like on SD the software, but regarding everything else, it's in the house. It's like it's theirs. That means that I'm bound to Raspberry Pi for this one. So I'm thinking like if we're going to the future. So as I told it, to feel more safe, I understand that good luck with your company, of course. But as for me to making a product, to feel more safe, I need to know that I can move anytime from, for example, you to another company without any problems. So you think it's I can feel safe about it?
Okay. Actually, what I would say, if you have a design based on IMX8 and you make your software, of course you can move to another manufacturer of modules. Why? Because this one will also come with probably more or less the same U-boot release, with 100% the same built-in bootloader, and then the software that is on top is yours anyway. This is what you want to know?
Yes, 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 thank you. And I have another question. I just go out of rails 1 second. Regarding the place where you manufacture, if I remember, Taiwan?
Yes, we manufacture 100% in Taiwan. Actually, here 100 meters away from here. We have our own factories. You can actually find a YouTube video where we have a walk-in over our premises. You can see the factories, SMT lines.
Introduction to our factory.
So that means also that none of our components we ship to Europe or America will ever have, hopefully, a tariff on top.
Mm-hmm. And regarding the design, that if I understand right, I can make a own design, which you, for example, draw, or I make a design, I send you, and the design that would be in your company, it is confidential, right?
Yes. We actually built quite some carriers for third party, for customers, and this is something we don't open. I mean, this design doesn't belong to us, it belongs to our customer, but we build it for them.
Okay, and regarding the, maybe I misunderstood or misheard. So if we, for example, say, let's say 100 RPI 3, $35, it's $3,500. For example, just rough. If we would make the same design, same every input output, what would be very approximate price for me just to understand?
Hard to answer, sorry. This is more or less a technological webinar on pricing. I think you need to check this with your local contact. It's hard for me to explain that.
That's maybe a time also for me to tell you that we are running out of our time. So if you have some technical question, Vadim, we can continue.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I don't have any further question. Thank you very much.
Okay. Anybody else who has a question, please feel free to answer. And Thomas, in case you would like to start your part, so please go ahead.
Yes, so maybe we go over it.
I think maybe it's time that Tomasz can tell you actually where to get all your files.
Yes, so I might answer some of the potential questions if we go over to the website.
Okay, for now, I do not have anything open.
Okay, then we will.
They can start to share
the screen, and so we start from the very beginning, our homepage. So we are on the main page of our site, and you can see first where we go, it will be products, and we have several product categories, and today we mostly talk about system on modules, and we spend a few minutes about connectivity PIC module. So as you can see, we have also many different sensors and add-ons, embedded systems and HMIs, and more things are coming. So I just show you shortly system on modules. We have several series. We mostly talk today about Pixie series, but we have also a few more. And you will see that in each series, here are series name, Axon, EDM, Flex, Pico, XOR, and others. And in each series name, we will have Pico evaluation kits. So that's where you can get the overview of the kits, what kits we have to offer. Let's go to Pico evaluation kits, and you can see that right away we have 7 different kits with different modules, and also not only Pi, we have for Pico also NIP, and as we mentioned, Wizard is coming. So also for some series we will have 2 or 3 different baseboards to pick from. And we show you today that you can get a full kit like the one we show you today, but actually you can pick some elements. So for sure you will need the baseboard, module, and Wi-Fi, and you will get also the cables and Wi-Fi antennas, but maybe you don't need LCD panel because you have one, so you can skip this also camera module. So these are configurable, and today we showed you it was a 2 GB PICO-PI-IMX8M-MINI. That was this one. PICO-PI-IMX8M-MINI 2 GB. Yeah, and so for any development kits that you need for modules, you can always take a look at this page, and then let's go to support. Now in support section you will see knowledge base, download center. These are, I would say, sections that most customers will need. So let's start with the download center. If we go to download center, at the top there is a search bar. We are a bit slow today. Yeah. So you can look either a byproduct or a type of what are you looking for, like is it images or certification files or manual and so on. Let's pick the one that we were talking today. PICO-PI-IMX8M-MINI, that's this one, and all. Then we will see what is available for download right now. So here we have Android UUU. Then we will have also regular eMMC installer, and then you will get more files. Then baseboard schematics. What we said, those baseboard schematics file are already available for download. And yeah, Yocto quick start guide, that's the printed file that we ship together with the development kit, hardware manual. Yeah, so all the important files are already here for download. You don't need to register, you don't need any password, you just go search and download. So this is very helpful for customers. And then in support, other part, this is also very often used, it's knowledge base. So here our engineers will put up a list of questions and answers that we regularly get from customers. So it's, I would say, not daily, but weekly updated. We have more and more content. We started it like 2 years ago. And there are several, let's say the first one, just Pico heatsink installation guide. So if you don't know how to install the heatsink, then you will find information here. Voice head installation guide. Get started with PICO-PI-IMX8M-MINI development kit. We can go this one, read more, and show you what will be inside. There is also a difficulty level show with stars. So 1 star it's easy, 5 stars it's for engineers. Yeah, so this is pretty much the setup guide. So with pictures, and if you assemble the development kit, you will find quick guidance here and very detailed pictures and everything. So it means you will be able to finish the installation within, let's say, 20 minutes or so. Yeah, and I will get back to the main page. So you can search by the same, also by product, by type, comparison and migration, hardware design, installation, software, how to, and difficulty level. So you will find always something that is interesting. And as I said, those topics, so we update regular. So every week we will add something. So more and more content is coming. Yeah, and then for pricing, then you have to talk to your local partner, to SOS. Then yeah, you will find the correct pricing information. And yeah, that's, I think that's it for when it comes to our website. And let's move on quickly to Qt, because some of you might have questions about, okay, I installed set up the development kit and then flash the eMMC, and then what to do next. Actually, Qt was faster than we, so you can find very detailed information on Qt, like this page, getting started with Qt. So a lot of paragraphs and articles are here, and information in instruction videos also. So I think any software engineer will be quite happy to find this and work with this page. And for example, here Qt, our version is a bit newer. It's 5.15, if I'm correct. So you can find more information about this image here. So Qt 5.13 for device creation, and also a lot of information and reference links. So this is something very helpful, and I think, yeah, if you go for Qt, then here you will be satisfied.
I'm sorry, if I may, a question concerning exactly the page you are looking right now. So
yeah.
Qt for device creation, you said that the image that you flashed at the beginning is a boot to Qt image. So it's built from the commercial license from the Qt. So if you see at this page, there are supported devices.
Yeah.
And those devices, in terms of IMX8, only support the NXP's devices, so the baseboards and so on, so their eval kits. So my company owns a PICO-IMX8M, and what I asked before was actually a little bit vague, but right now I would like to know what are the steps that I need to do in order to, for instance, modify the NXP's eval kit target in the boot to Qt in order to build the Qt for my board, so to speak. So for the whole Linux distro from Yocto.
So basically, your question is, how can you change the boot to Qt BSP to support your carrier or to support your module?
To support the PICO-IMX8M, because from the out of the box, Qt for device creation only supports NXP's eval kit.
Yes.
NXP's eval kit. So For instance, Raspberry Pi is also supported. So for instance, if I build for Raspberry Pi, I just select the machine type and so on. If I would like to introduce my own machine, like PICO-IMX8M, your, for instance, SOM module.
It's not there at the moment.
Yes, exactly. And you have done it. So is this available somewhere on the GitHub, or it will be described in the white paper that you mentioned before?
Yeah, we can describe that in a paper, but on our GitHub, we have already the boot2qt BSPs. No, sorry, on our FTP. And we will later on be listed also in the boot2qt, device suite. So you will see us. Our products will be visible there.
Okay, so you will partner with Qt to introduce
Yeah. We are in the final stages, so it's coming very, very soon.
Okay, because I ask because we usually build our own distros for demos for our clients and so on for the fairs and like that, and we need to have this ability to use not only the SDK but sometimes build additional package into the image, and the ready BSP is not the way to go for us.
Yeah, the BSP is already available. It's on our FTP. It's free to download. That's not a problem. But later on, you will also see us listed when you use boot2qt suite.
Yeah, maybe I show the link to FTP.
Yeah. Do you have an estimated timeline when this will be available in Qt?
We ship devices for them for certification back in
already
June, I think.
Yeah,
in June. So we expect within a couple of weeks to have at least the 8M and 8M-MINI that are listed.
To start with, yeah.
And then we will switch down to the IMX6 and then the 7 probably also. We're not 100% sure about the IMX UL if we will go ahead with this, yes or no.
Okay, but IMX8M is a great news. Thanks.
Yes.
If you're on the download center, if you go down the page, then you will see links to GitHub and it's a bit long list now. Yeah. Then there are direct links to GitHub and FTP.
That should be a little bit on the top, Tomasz.
Yeah.
I think this will never end. We release so many documents that this will never end.
Okay, yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. We will send out the links to every FTP and GitHub later on because scrolling here will take
a bit longer.
For 5 years.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Just as an example, for example, when IMX6 was released, the first Android release was that we did from TechNexion was 2.3. And now on that same IMX6, we are about to release Android 9. So we keep on updating our software for all our products for a very, very long time frame.
Okay.
Okay.
No, it's not.
I don't know. You pick annotations.
Okay. Where was it? Looking at the time, we are already over the time.
Yeah, we are a little bit bad.
Yeah.
Never mind. If we still have any questions, please feel free. We are waiting. We can wait for your questions, so it's no rush. In case there are some, this is a webinar for you, so that's why please ask. That's why we are here. I just want to mention that at the end, that this webinar, the recording we will publish, and also we have a deal with Miro that he will work and process the material, and he will prepare some content material like in article. So we can also mention this document that you are looking for right now, and we can make something. And we can make it visible and available also in this article. So don't worry about this. For now, I do not see any questions. Mira, if I can ask you, do you have anything opened? He's just showing me not yet, not yet. Okay, guys. So, well, if you will have any questions after the webinar, you can also write them to us, to SOS Electronic. And I will the article that we will publish. And at the end, well, thank you, Henry, Thomas. Thank you for the webinar presentation. Ishimash, Thomas?
Dziękuję, dobrze. Dobrze.
You did not finish, right?
Yeah.
Sorry. Tell us. Because the questions are not, we are not waiting, okay, for the questions. You can continue then.
No, okay, yes. Then I think,
Yeah,
I'm fine. Yes, thank you for your time. So, yeah, I hope we answered most of your questions that you had on mind, and it might help you to understand the development kit offering from TechNexion.
Thomas, and would you do you have a roadmap document? Will you share it to us or not yet?
We are going to finalize a new roadmap for our board level products. We can send that out to you, and I hope you could forward this to your customers.
Yeah. Okay.
It's ready on device level, but on board level we are adding the XOR series, and it's still on the PM side. I think we should have it back somewhere after next week.
Okay, it's enough time. We will not publish the article so soon, so we can do it, and we can help you with this one, with the roadmap in our article. And it's
good.
Great for us also. So, okay, if there is anything.
Can I ask, please?
Yes, go ahead.
Please, can you help me to, because you have a lot of desks there, can you just help me if I would like alternative to Raspberry Pi 3? Can you just open on the share screen, can you open your product? That will be very comparable. So I will write it down on my computer.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
You go to the Pico products, the system modules, yeah, and you find the Pico series. They all come with a. I'm sorry, it's a little slow. They come with a Pi size baseboard. So everything you see in Pico and also in Flex can come with a carrier that is the same size like a Raspberry Pi. So you can go from an IMX6 UL up to a IMX8M-MINI.
Thank you.
So that means maybe the Raspberry Pi was overpowered for you, then you can go for a UL or IMX7.
Yeah, you can also do a quick comparison of the modules, and then like this, for example, and then.
Thank you. I have one other question. If you are talking, can you open on the share screen, can you open the eMMC or whatever is the name of the built-in storage? Can you open so I can see it, like the option?
Options. Standard is 16 gigabytes. Well, actually, on the compare screen, you should be able to see that, right?
I mean the specification of the onboard storage, the specification. Which type of memory is used there?
Sound disk. We use sound disk. I need to open also. Yeah. But it's eMMC.
Yeah. So regarding the eMMC, so why I'm asking in future products, I would use the if you know company Apacer.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So they are doing a SD card which costs around $30. and it's I don't remember, it's SLC, which means industrial grade memory, which white temperature, whatever.
Yeah.
So your MMC, what are the specification and what type of SSD memory is used?
Okay, this is 3D multi-layer. So this is not SLC, but you can have a special SKU and where you can populate SLC now, which is a lot more expensive, as I'm sure you know that. Why would you want actually SLC NAND on an embedded device?
Because of the read-write performance and stability. Yeah, read-write performance and error. There will be no much errors in any cases.
The read performance is more or less on par. What you talk about is the write performance is a lot higher from SLC NAND.
Yep.
And normally in an embedded
I'm sorry, not performance. I don't care much about the performance of the card. I care about the write in the cell, how much it can take, how much writes it can take in long span.
Yeah, exactly. So for an SLC NAND, this is quite low. You're right. About 4,000 cycles per cell. When you go in SLC, you go immediately up to 30, 40,000 erase cycles. It's not the write cycle that breaks the NAND, but the erase cycle. Performance, indeed, you have faster write times to a single layer than to a multi-layer. But normally in an embedded device, you monitor actively what you're going to write. So I would say for a pretty fine-tuned Linux distribution, it shouldn't matter because you have no swaps and you work basically from a RAM disk system.
Okay, I agree. And regarding the MMC, if it's a build, how would I flash it? It will be it can be over Ethernet?
You can flash over OTG, you can flash from an SD card, and indeed, if you boot with a removable media, for example, a micro SD card, then you can invoke over U-boot network access to flash the image.
So if I have, for example, now I have in my hand the Apacer, which have the system, software, everything. So when I put inside your Pico, I will choose in the some boot up screen. I choose take the SD card, the whole partition, and move it to MMC.
It's a little bit simplistic, but yes, you could do that. But the micro SD card that you have in your hand will have actually a bootloader for your Raspberry, maybe. And yeah, right?
Yeah.
And this will not work. So what you want to do is you want to migrate your existing Yocto distribution onto the Yocto distribution we have. So all your sources and your added script you have. Then you compile a release for our module, which will be different than for Raspberry Pi, of course, because they're already a different, how to say, different platform. I think Raspberry Pi is a Cortex A9, and here you talk about a Cortex A53. They're not compatible with each other, different architecture. So once you moved all your recipes from your Yocto you use to ours, you compile a system image, and then you use one of our installers to flash it onto the module, which is pretty easy, I think.
Okay, so after I move the software to your architecture, after that I can move it back to SD card and I can flash it from SD card?
Yeah, you can flash from SD card, exactly. That's possible, or you can flash it over OTG, USB connection, or you can even use U-boot to flash it from a remote server.
I can use my own remote server?
Yes.
You have all the step-by-step instructions?
More or less. The RC feature for U-boot is described actually pretty easy.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, one more question. I don't know for which one of you is this. who will answer. So please, for recapitulation, when I buy now the kit, who will help me for configuration of Qt for start of project? Will I need commercial license of Qt or be working with the Qt SDK for many years? So, or can I use Ubuntu distribution and install them Qt library? Question once more.
It was not loud enough.
Yeah.
Your
Okay.
mic is very low.
Okay. For you, Henry. Please, no, listen. Please, for recapitulation, when I buy now the kit, who will help me for configuration of Qt for start of project? Will I need commercial license of Qt? Or we are working with the Qt SDK for many years, or can I use Ubuntu distribution and install them Qt library?
Ubuntu?
Ubuntu? Or is it a mistake? Ubuntu.
I don't know.
Basically,
we have a Ubuntu Qt board support package ready. You can use this to make your own Ubuntu Qt release for any device, but you cannot sell it because you will need a final end user license for every device that you sell to with Ubuntu Qt. And this is not clear also on my side how it goes because we're still in negotiations. And I think the best thing that we can do for this is prepare a white paper and where you know how to proceed once you've decided you want to have Ubuntu Qt on your final devices. There might be that there's limitations on how many you can ship before you need to pay. There might be that you need to pay from the first one. I have no idea. I cannot answer it now. But can tell you, we're ready to make a paper so that you understand clearly which direction to go.
Okay, Vadim, I think.
Yes, I would like to ask regarding the licensing. I'm a little bit confused. I just want to ask a simple question. If I take the Pico and I put my Debian software, I do not need any other licensing. I can sell it. Am I correct?
Correct. Correct. That's 100% correct. No problem.
Thank you.
Okay, for now, I do not have any more open questions or unanswered questions. Is there anybody who would like to ask or raise hands or anything? You still have time. Henry, Thomas? Is Henry gone?
Yeah, I think he got urgent phone call. But...
Oh, okay, sorry. So is there, do you have anything, what would you like to add to the webinar, Thomas?
No, I think at the moment we are, we are basically done, and yeah, I think we can wrap up the webinar.
Thank you very much for webinar.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you all who attended our event and stayed with us during the presentation. As I mentioned, we will try to process this content and publish the article. I'm sorry. And well, in November, we will have a present in ION webinar. All of you who have participated in this webinar, you are invited to come. And the present information will be a little bit different. We will focus on our attention on artificial intelligence. And well, I do not see Henry, but please, Thomas, tell him that thank you also to him. And thank you, you too, for your time and for your preparation and for your plans. So have a nice day.
Yeah, thank you very much. And talk to you next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Yep. Bye.
Bye-bye.